October 9th, 1909. Today, Sarah and I talked for a few minutes during our lunch break. Sarah told me something about herself and her family. She's 18 and went to school for 6 years in America. For the last 3 years, though, she's worked so hard for her younger brother, Joseph, can stay in school. Sarah's family came to America from Russia about 9 years ago. I was only 9 years old when we left, but I remember being afraid. The government had many rules for Jews, where we could live and what kind of jobs we could have. Sarah was silent for a minute. We lived in Shtetl, a village only for Jews, she went on softly. People were poor, and many families struggled to survive. And then there was a pogrom. A pogrom, I repeated. The word sounded familiar. Soldiers came, Sarah said flatly. They burned houses. They killed innocent people. My uncle died. I thought about Sarah's words all afternoon. More than half the girls who work here are Jewish. I wonder what their lives were like before they came to America. After work, Louisa and I wanted to walk to the park at Washington Square. For a little while. It's Saturday, after all, and tomorrow we're off, said Louisa. The park was crowded with girls, laughing and talking. The Triangle Waste Company is just 1 block away in the tall Ash building, at the corner of Washington Palace and Green Street. Outside the Triangle factory, girls with signs were pacing up and down the sidewalk. I pulled at Louisa's sleeve. What are they doing? Picketing. The workers there are on a strike. Rosa stopped to look, too. It's not a strike anymore. I heard Sarah Goldstein, the girl from her shop, say it's a lockout. What's a lockout? I wanted to know. Rosa wasn't exactly sure, but she thought that after the girls went on strike, the owners closed the factory. When they opened it again, they hired new girls instead of the striking workers. That means those girls are locked out and had lost their jobs. I looked at the girls with their signs. So they're being punished for going on strike. Louisa pulled me again, frowning. They've lost their jobs. You see what happens, Angela, when you talk to girls like Sarah? I was just about to answer when a young man with a thin, strong face came up and greeted Rosa. Louisa smiled and grabbed my hand and pulled me back behind them as we walked along. My mouth fell open. It's not proper to walk and talk with strange men on the streets. Surely Louisa and Rosa know that. Louisa whispered his name. Adonienzo Mazzicalco. If you'd get your head out of your little book, Angela, you'd realize you've seen Adonienzo before. His father has the barber shop on the corner, but Babbo often goes to meet his friends. Adonienzo isn't a barber, though. He works as a cloak maker, making fine ladies' clothes. The barber shop! I looked at him more closely. Yes, he was the same young man Teresa and I had seen Babbo talking with so earnestly, the one with the wild, moving hands. Just then, Adonienzo turned around and caught me looking at him. He gave a quick nod, but he didn't smile. His eyes were bright and sharp, a little like Sarah's. In a low voice, Louisa told me that Adonienzo's mother is a distant cousin of Zikatina, so their families have known each other for a long time. I should have realized Rosa would never get a boyfriend on her own. She would never violate the honneur de famille, the family honor. Louisa told me that Rosa's parents, Zikatina and Vincino, approve of Adonienzo. She feels sure Adonienzo and Rosa will become engaged someday, but this isn't a good time while Zikatina is so sick. Later. As usual, our kitchen is full of friends and neighbors, including Z Maria. As I slipped out to the fire escape, I made sure to hide this diary in my skirts. My sparrow flew right up to me just now. He hops about and cocks his head at me. Soon he will fly off. I wonder where he sleeps at night. Even though it's almost dark, Elizabeth Street is still full of people. I wonder where they're all going. Sarah told me that she sometimes attends lectures at the Educational Alliance in the evenings. She's even been to the theater to see a play. It sounds exciting, but I know Mama needs me home at night.